For those people that have seen the most recent episodes that I've uploaded, you'll know that Shekinah and Thais got into a physical altercation. Simply because, well, Shekinah wanted to expose Patrick to Kara. Why? Because she simply wanted to tell Kara that Patrick had been telling G information that isn't necessarily the best information to be telling him if it came down to a divorce between Kara and Gmo. Which, to be fair, in that situation, what happened? Thais got angry to the point where she decided to leap over the table to try and attack Shekinah. Pretty much unprovoked, if you ask me personally. But because of this, what happened? Well, Shekinah then did what she does best, and that is open up her mouth and simply said the statement of, or the comment of, go back to your country, which has now created even more controversy in the situation. So much to the point where people are talking more about the comment that was made rather than the physical attack that was done. The question is, folks, what do you think was worse? The xenophobic comment of go back to your country or the physical attack from Thais? Give me your thoughts on that one. But as you're thinking about it and you're also commenting down below to let me know, let's dive into what Shekinah's had to say since then. So 2 days ago, she came out with these series of posts. She said, I really appreciate all the people in my DMs and comments who see things for what they really are. Your support and understanding means a lot because, as you can see, I was surrounded by very ignorant characters. What I experienced was a physical attack. Go back to your country means go back to where you're doing this is allowed. Because where I'm from, it's not. Her husband recently called the police on her with fresh scratches on his face because where we are from, you get arrested for behaving that way. Interesting. To be fair, bringing up the situation with Patrick and Thais isn't necessarily, it's relevant, but then it's not relevant. It's relevant to the point that it is showing us a pattern between when it comes to Thais and her temper. But it's also not relevant because Thais had already attacked you before this situation happened. But I understand why she's brought it up. But now let's talk about the fact that she said go back to your country means go back to where this behavior is allowed, because where I'm from, it's not. Listen. Physical violence is not allowed anywhere, but there are certain countries, due to the justice system, they are not as good as protecting the public. So maybe in Brazil, they're not as good as protecting people in the protecting the public when it comes to physical attacks. Maybe in America, the justice system is better. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But also on top of that, though, take away the justice system, for things to happen in ways where people take repercussions, people have to report it. Maybe in America, people are more accustomed to reporting physical attacks compared to in Brazil, people are not so accustomed to reporting it. More of the story is saying to someone, go back to where this is allowed, because it's not allowed here, isn't really a good statement in my opinion. Because it really comes down to the person's environment. So as you got to understand, if Thais was born in an environment where reporting things was custom or whatnot, obviously her situation would be better. So instead of saying go back to your country where this is allowed, why don't you just say, hey, maybe where you're from, this stuff is allowed, but where I'm from, when these things happen, there's consequences. Because where I'm from, people are not afraid to call the police. People are not afraid to intervene when somebody's doing too much. So whatever attitude you had before, understand that you're now in a new environment. So why not just educate her instead, rather than say a xenophobic comment? Because at the end of the day, two wrongs don't make a right. Adding more gas to the fire doesn't make things any better. But give me your thoughts on that one. But like I said before, there's a series of posts that she kind of made. She then decided to post this one too. This is a comment that I believe that she received, where this person says, the cast just ignored the fact that Shekinah almost got attacked physically. Is it wild how people completely flip the timeline of this fight just to make Shekinah the villain? Thais was the one who physically escalated the situation and tried to attack her first, which is something that I've already said to you guys in this video. Shekinah only threw out that comment after Thais lunging at her and trying to fight. And don't get me wrong, yes, she made the comment after being attacked. But again, like I said before, adding more fuel to the fire is not right. Shekinah still should have never said what she said. But again, like I said before, what is worse? The physical attack or the comment that was made after? And also, how would you handle the situation? If somebody physically attacked you, what would you say? Or what would you do? Give me your thoughts. Also continues here by saying, no, my bad. Since when are harsh words worse than actual physical violence? It's a good question. There are some people, unfortunately, in this life that have been through a relationship where it comes with both physical, where it comes either with physical or mental abuse. And a lot of people say that mental abuse is actually far worse than physical abuse. Something that I just want you to bear in mind. Okay, because that's something that people forget sometimes or people don't think of. But within context of what this person is saying, it goes back to the question I've been asking you folks. What has been worse? The physical attack or the comment that was made? The cast and the production completely ignored a direct threat to safety just because they didn't like what Shekinah said while defending herself. Trying to physically assault someone is a massive escalation, and Thais should have been the one called out for taking it there. Now, I will say this though. I don't like the fact that one of these people or one of these ladies is being called out and the other one isn't. Both should be held accountable for their actions. But the question still remains, who did worse than the other? Then also she comes out with another one. You may or may not have noticed that I was trying to tell Cara that Patrick had been in her husband's ear earlier that day, advised him to take half of her money when he divorces her. Thais, who is supposed to be Cara's friend, sat by and said nothing. I spoke up in Cara's absence to defend her. Then later I tried to tell Cara what transpired, and that's when Thais came violent, taking swings at me. But I am the villain. Mean girl, right? Listen, it's a solid point. So to be fair with you, I have seen Cara. She says something on online. I missed the screenshot of it. But she basically said that I understand that Shekinah was trying to tell me something, but I do not condone such comments. I understand what Cara is saying, but Cara, to be honest with you, if I was you, I'd probably be wanting to be around the person that was looking out for me more than the person that was not looking out for me. Do you know what I mean? Either way, though, I guess it's still what it comes down to is still your beliefs, right? So it's fine. Then she also comes out with this one by saying, someone just told me it was really nice of me to say go back to your country, because I could have said go back to your village. Could be meaner. I actually have a t-shirt that says this from Stevie. I like the way she's put Stevie, who was once upon a time part of 90 Day Fiance. Stevie, who is in a relationship with Marty, and still is in a relationship with Marty for that matter. This is the issue. Adding more fuel to the fire. Is this comment here adding more fuel to the fire? But this is what Shekinah seems to do. Give me your thoughts. But then also on top of that comes out with this one. What's wrong with saying go back to your CUNT tree? Yeah, you can see the word country. The play on words. Adding more fuel to the fire. You see, the problem with Shekinah is that sometimes she can begin by making points that maybe good points. Maybe. It's a rare thing for her to make good points, to be honest with you. But the issue with Shekinah is that even if she does make good points, she can't stay quiet. She then has to elaborate. And when it comes to elaborating, going on and on and on, it becomes stupid, it becomes silly, it becomes petty, it exposes her own insecurities, her own just, ugh. And it's crazy because right now she has been going wild on social media. But I haven't heard a single thing from Thais. I haven't heard a single thing from Patrick. I haven't heard a single thing from Sapa, to be fair. Like I said, obviously there was the one thing that I saw from Cara. But the fact is though, this is where Shekinah needs to learn that sometimes in life, you need to just let things go. What's happened has happened. But unfortunately for her, she can't help herself. I'm only want to fight. the only way I'm gonna fight you right now is by simply what? Backing off and pointing fingers. Shekinah. Doesn't do anything to help herself. But this was 2 days ago. But now, as of last night, she's come out with the most recent post. Again, the girl cannot stay quiet. The girl has to keep poking the bear. But this time, she's going after more. She first starts off by putting out here tons of DMs of people asking why security didn't step in and help me when I was being attacked, which is a good question. I would love to know this also. I was literally looking security right in the eyes as they sat on the other bench, other end of the bench I was on. And you can see and hear me shouting at them, "Get this BITH out of here." They didn't move. When I asked producers about it, they said they would find out. Shekinah, as much as I would like to feel sorry for her in this situation, as much as I would like to sympathize with her in this situation, she's been on this show for how many years? She knows that security will only get involved whenever they feel fit. She knows production will only stop filming or stop doing certain things when they see fit. She knows that all they care about is getting the content they need to provide to us, the audience, for our entertainment purposes. So why is she acting surprised is the question that I have for her here. Because there's nothing to be surprised about. But then also she continues by saying, in a follow-up meeting about it, producers told me security was waiting for a cue from producers to step in, and producers were under impression that security would step in when they saw fit. That is the most wildest thing I've ever heard in my life. If you're security, you step in when you're supposed to step in. I've never heard security step in when they're told to step in. That's hilarious. So it was explained to me as a miscommunication. This miscommunication could have cost me the loss of my eye or permanently been disfigured if it wasn't for my husband helping to block the swings. Maybe she's right. Maybe she's right. Then also by continuing by saying, but it's really interesting how quickly security stepped in to G and Sarpa's brawl. Now that is a very good point. That is a very good point because of course G came out. What did you say? What did you say about go back to your country? While drunk as hell. Sarpa said, listen, leave it alone. We're trying to go. We want to de-escalate. We're trying to go. He could not let it go, so Sarpa had to go, hey, gave him that push. Yeah, I said. And to be fair, we saw security coming real quick. That is very, very, very true. So is there a different treatment for different people, different genders? What is going on here? Answers should be given, to be fair. Good answers should be given by TLC. Producers, to be more specific. My theory is that producers wanted to appease the large, ever-hating Shekinah fans by letting me get my ass beat. They were going to let it happen. So I refused to film with her again because I now knew I wasn't being protected and she was clearly unpredictable, unhinged, and violent. Do you agree or do you disagree? If you was in Shekinah's position, would you want to still film with somebody that has attacked you? Somebody that attacked you because you were simply trying to expose their husband for basically being somebody that's trying to intervene in somebody else's marriage and somebody else's divorce? But we continue. We continue. Like I said to you folks, she's had a lot of things to say. Our contract state that physical altercations will get us removed from the show. So I asked for her to be removed. Producer told me it was at his discretion. And because Sarpa also got physical, they would both have to be removed or neither be removed. Interesting. To be fair, the Sarpa situation is a bit different because you see, the guy wouldn't get out of his face. JMO was just always in his face. See, he had to like say, hey, back off, man, you're doing too much. The Sarpa situation was understandable to a certain degree because Sarpa could have gone whoosh, one little haymaker or one little whoosh, but he didn't. He just went So, yeah, but anyway, let's continue. I feel like comparing the Sarpa situation to the Thais situation is far from the same. Like, folks, let's talk about this real quick. Like I said before, oh God. Thais. So that means Shekinah wasn't even in a distance where Thais could actually get her. So she had to lunge over. She had to put her full effort. So therefore her one was an actual pure attack. Meanwhile, with Sarpa and Jermo, it's completely different things. This close. Sarpa was like, yo, I'm trying to tell you to go away. He's not listening. He's in his ears. He's like, go back to your country. So he was like, hey, I need to get you away real quick because if I don't get you away from me right now, I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't be doing. So really and truly, one was an attack and one was just simply, I'm trying to de-escalate, just back off. Was the push a bit too hard? Well, you let me know your thoughts on that one. I just don't think they're the same, but give me your thoughts. I was fine with going home and I wanted to. Sarpa and I had a serious conversations about doing so. And ultimately, I followed his lead and stayed, but nothing was the same after this. To be honest with you, I don't know why Sarpa said, let's stay. He should have said, no, let's go. This is the last season in this franchise that you will see me on. 1, the show did not protect me. 2, they knew they were dealing with fragile marriages on the verge of divorce, yet they put us on 2 shows that was inappropriate and sexual. Not what I signed up for, and I'm disgusted by all of it and regret my involvement. I do wonder then, why did you come back and do Between the Sheets then? But hey, Shekinah is Shekinah. Now, she then decided, now, here's the thing, folks. When I went to sleep last night, that was the end of it. But then I woke up this morning and she's going at it again. Self-care. And it's just me having no human interaction for an entire day. I mean, to be fair, I would recommend this to a lot of people. I'm not going to lie to you. And then, as you can see, she's back at it again, showing us the clip of what went down. I'm about to do a slow-mo version too, because you own, oh good, there we go. Obviously, I'm not gonna play the audio due to copyright purposes, blah 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 blah. But obviously, as you can see, she's obviously slowing it down. Oh my days! She's doing the clip that was made by whatever Linda. Shout out to whatever Linda. If you don't know who she is, go check her out. You know what I'm saying. But she also comes out with this post as well by saying, once my BICH side is activated, I don't regret a single word I said. I said what I said, so go cry in a corner. I know the amount of grace and forgiveness I gave before, so don't act like it came out of nowhere. And then obviously, I guess just a post, whatever, malarkey. 17 minutes, folks. 17 minutes to talking about Shekinah. Damn, I know you guys are probably either checked out of the video, probably exhausted. But listen, folks, we got more content to talk about. So let's dive into some other tea that is happening in the 90-day world. So it was Shaboody.com came out to let us know that apparently Larissa is coming back to the 90-Day Fiance franchise. She didn't get cast on Hunt for Love, so she is making a grand return on the next season of The Single Life. If you read the graphics, she recently got divorced again from the biker-looking dude. So, she is newly single and it all lines up and makes sense. You heard it first here. So as you can see, yes, former TLC star Larissa Lima confirmed that she is single again after splitting from her husband, Zach, in March 2025. The split occurred just 8 months after the wedding ceremony in Las Vegas. Now, of course, there is no evidence behind this information, but recently we have learned that usually when information comes from Shaboody, it generally does to be true. So the question is this: who wants to see Larissa back in the 90-Day Fiance franchise? Who is excited to hear her come back and say words like, well, to be fair, she probably won't say words like Eric or Cole T, but to be fair, she probably will. But remember, they always do the intro. They say, so my name is Larissa, and you may remember me when I first came in the show and I was with Cole T, and I left Cole T for Eric, and then I was on Villains. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie to you, I could care less. I'm not bothered about seeing Larissa again, but maybe you folks are. Let me know. The fact that I had to try and like mimic her again reminded me of how annoying I found the way she spoke sometimes. It's like, oh, somebody kill me now. But with that being said, though, we're going to move on to another one, and this one here is all about Rasit. Now, interesting. Rasit is on a live right now and said multiple times he doesn't have a wife. But you see, it has been reported that Rasit and Mallorie actually did get married in 2025, which is why this is interesting. People were repeatedly asking, where is your wife? And he responded with, I don't have a wife. Very clearly at least 2 separate times. Not that you can really tell, but it looks like he's back in Turkey from the background. I mean, you never know. He may be back in Turkey. He may not be back in Turkey. We don't know. But what we do know is that record shows, not necessarily like the actual court records, because I haven't seen those records, but it was said before that these two did get married. So the question is, did they get married and then their relationship did not work out and he went back to Turkey, or did they get married and the relationship didn't work out, but he's still in America, but obviously he's just got some traditional things in the background that makes it feel like he's back at home? Or is he just playing games and just trying to mislead us? You never know, right? Sometimes with some cast members. But the question is this: if Mallorie and Rasit did not make it work, are you guys happy about that? You're evil if you are. No, I'm joking. You're not evil if you wish they didn't make it work. But with that being said, we're now going to move on to the last piece of tea. Now, Annalyn was on the show recently with Jovan in the most recent season of, I believe, The Other Way, or Before the 90 Days. Was it Before the Other 90 Days? It was one of those two shows. Anyway, somebody has been on her case. So she's obviously out here to expose this person who has been on her case, right? So she puts down, I know the truth and I know that I don't have to prove anything to anyone. But sometimes you can only be patient enough until you push the buttons of someone. Some of y'all really think and act like because we were on TV, we are not humans anymore. If you know this woman, bring her to me and tell her to not be Sorry. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God damn. God damn. Yeah, you heard what she said, right? Bring her to me. Bring her to me. Sorry, it's just funny to me because I've heard this statement before. You know, whenever you watch like a film or a series or whatever, or you have a friend that's really like angry and they say, bring them to me. Bring so-and-so to me. Bring her to me. And then what we're going to do? What we're going to do? What? Oh, God. Okay. Let me get back on track. Come on, guys. Let's stop. No, I'm not protecting anyone's face here. You rip what you sow. What's really more painful is that when this happens, it mostly coming from fellow women. And this is very true. A lot of the time in 90 Day Fiance history, it's always been generally women that have come after other women, which has always been quite sad. Now, just for you folks to know what is actually happening here, I'll let you know in a second. I hope your countrymen and whole clan are proud of you nasty women. Remember that whatever you send out to the universe is exactly what you're going to get. So let's talk about it. What is happening here? Why is she in this position where she feels the need to come out and expose somebody and come out and say something? Well, Annalyn recently came out. Well, not recently, sorry. When she was on the show, it was announced that she was pregnant at the time. Then, unfortunately, it was then announced that she had then lost the child. I'll show you this little graphic real quick, as you can see here, okay? And unfortunately, some people have been calling her out and claiming and accusing her of faking a pregnancy, which is why she's obviously... I'm going to show this one real quick. As you can see, yep, take it away. So, oh, Jesus Christ, I need that to get off my screen real quick. But you know when it's a real one, here we go. So she's obviously come out to show proof, even though she shouldn't have to show proof, because Annalyn had no reason to lie. But she's come out to obviously have to defend herself to show proof that... Listen, I didn't fake a pregnancy. I didn't fake losing a child. What happened to me is truth. And unfortunately, she's been put in a position where she's felt the need to show the evidence. Too much evidence, if you ask me personally. Listen, I'd understand if it was other cast members who we've known in the past to be liars for the most part, whether it be like a Lisa or an Angela or a Jasmine or whatever. I could understand if somebody was questioning whether that person was telling the truth. But Annalyn, what the hell did she do to you? I do feel sorry for her. I feel truly sorry for her and Jovan, because at the end of the day, she got pregnant, she lost a child, and then these accusations came along. Unnecessary accusations. If you're going to accuse someone of something, at least have evidence behind why you want to accuse them. At least have something. Right, with that being said, sorry, that made me hella sad, I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. With that being said, thank you so much for your time. Yeah. Hope you guys have a good day and peace.